You put a candle in the room and make an altar right now, and then you measure the speed with which the particles, energy particles are moving. They'll probably be moving faster after you've lit the candle. You know, when you walk into a room and you get a bad vibe or a good vibe, it literally is a low vibration that you're walking into. Things like music, things like anything visual, any visual, audio-visual stimulation can raise the vibration of the energy particles. Great music can raise your vibration and lift you up.
So take a little walk in the sunshine. Count 1, 2, 3. Baby, stay with me. Take a little walk in the sunshine. Listen to your heartbeat.
I always have the next project in front of me so that I have something to walk towards. You lay it down and just say, yeah, I'm gonna, and then in your deepest, darkest time, you go for it. What was coming to mind was Marvin Gaye, Curtis Mayfield, Minnie Riperton, you know, that kind of, you're opening a box of sunshine, you know. And all this music comes out of it.
So take a little walk in the sunshine.
Boys Don't Cry was the bridge between Seasons and Intercolor. And the relationships that I built, that I was not expecting to make through Boys, and all the wonderful people that I met through Boys, like Stephen Bishop, Terry Reid, Jimmy Webb, P.F. Sloan, you know, these amazing people have really given me a great deal of inspiration for this next project. And not only that, you know, I've actually worked with them, especially Stephen Bishop, who I wrote 3 songs with for this record. It definitely feels like a kind of a meaningful continuation. So it's a, you know, the whole Seasons into Boys into, it just feels like there's a narrative there that has continued. When I did Boys, I was extremely ill, and I got to that point where I was just, I ran out of gas maybe 6 months before that, maybe a year before that. I'd been running on empty. I had mental health issues that were so bad and exacerbated by stress that I would pray for a broken leg or something that would stop me just enough to have a break.
Hey, don't you know that my heart has grown cold, and I can never be what you want me to be.
I think the issue was I've never been supervised since I was a kid. I've always been unsupervised, and I've always done what I wanted to do, I guess, and I've always had jobs that I could control a little bit, or jobs that I could leave, you know. I don't know, I felt trapped in a situation that my life was planned 2 years in advance. There was no room to be sick, there was no room for recovery, there was no security, there was no home to go to, there was no one waiting for me when I got off the plane. There was nothing.
Sometimes I feel deserted by love. My faith that love will ever bring somebody home. Till then, will you hold my hand tonight?
It's such a unique job that hardly anyone has. You're not going to get much sympathy from people. It's like, well, we can't relate to that. So it's hard to get sympathy as well. So you're going through all this, no one cares. But for the record, if anyone's interested, the situation is very difficult, because it's like, you know, if you have a birthday or you're the bride every day, if that's not a natural situation. Life's not about just you. But when the world revolves around you every day and your work revolves around you every day, it can be a spiritual challenge, and it can make you sick. The artist needs to see out the window. You're in a car where you can't see out. It's black. The windows are black. We need to be able to see. We need to be able to talk, ask questions, be curious. So it's just a challenge, as I guess the more mature, the reflective part of me goes, it was just too much. you're cooped up, and an artist needs to be free, and the artist needs to be roam, and the artist needs to be on a train shoulder to shoulder with strangers. They need to be able to see out a window, look at a little bird, to talk about, to think about things, to communicate with the spirits.
We spend so much time inside these four walls, watching TV, all lost in technology. I need a change of scene to step inside a different dream. Remember how things used to be. It's a beautiful day. Let's go outside and play.
I went to California in January 2013, and I rented a little guest house, a beautiful, peaceful, hippie cottage, just to kind of listen to music and be inspired and write music and meet people. And it was kind of scary because I didn't know anybody. When I look back, it was quite brave because I didn't know a soul. I knew maybe a couple people, and I made friends there, and I made a life there. I'd won, you know, I'd won against the depressive illness, I'd won against just the near-death experience that I had. You know, I knew that I only had two options, death or transformation. I just felt like I wasn't gonna be a quitter. I was gonna survive, and I was gonna go through a transformation. I was gonna go into I knew a happy place was coming. I wanted to go to the happier place. I wanted to be happy. But what was really interesting was that, you know, being ill and coming out of it has been really good for me for this music. All the music's laced with compassion and empathy and understanding for other people's suffering.
I know you've got a worried mind. It can take you down. It can take you out. Do you still recognize the love that's in my eyes? You see, I've been there, baby, and I know what it's like.
I am very fortunate to have found a romantic partner and musical partner in Rob, and that we have a life together now, and that is a blessing. And I can tell the difference already as I'm talking to you, just feeling like less lonesome. You know, like later on when this situation, when you'll pack up and you'll leave and the cameras will go and everything else, and ordinarily that would make me feel like the clown when the circus had kind of left town. And now I feel like there's somebody there, and there's other stuff to do, and there's a life to go back to, and there's a point, and there's a context. I'm just enabled. I feel strengthened. I feel like, you know, especially having a new family, you know, not just Rob, but Rob's family, and having his mom, and I lost my mom, so that older woman energy as well has been really valuable in my life. And I lost my mother, my grandmother, you know, it was like machine gun fire in one go. And so when I get together with my family, there's no one over the age of 45. You know, we don't have any older people left. They've all died. And so with Rob, I'm just so happy to have a grandmother and a mother-in-law, and it's just great to have that older female energy back in my life. I feel like we all need our elders and that energy to really help us.
Read were the first words of the prophet. Read just like Frederick Douglass. Read like my mother told me. Read.
I don't want to be influenced by anything other than sometimes just God's green earth. You know what I mean? Like, you just want to look at a leaf That's why I love having the dog. I love that dog so much because I love looking at the world through his eyes. Like, he wants to stand there and look at a squirrel for 10 minutes. Well, we'll both stand there and look at a squirrel for 10 minutes. I don't know, Arkansas is beautiful and peaceful, and it gave us the silence that we needed to hear the songs. It was the best move, even though it was the weirdest idea, probably the weirdest idea I've ever had. Something told me that it would be a good idea, and it was the best idea we ever had. Energetically, we needed space, we needed quiet, and it was the perfect place to reflect, build a little studio, and to just look at the butterflies dancing outside the window, look at the deer. You know, every time we play, I would sometimes sing, and the deer would walk past the window, and it was just so beautiful.
And someday we'll know where life goes into color, and everyone we've loved before will take us through.
I'm very much involved in the production process, and from conception, the choice of instruments, players. I put together my own vocals. I've been less involved in this one, production-wise, than I have been in the past. Partly because Rob's really talented, and I wanted to let him run a little free with it. But I definitely feel like my sound or my thing, whatever it is that I do, is not dependent on anyone else. My sound is intact, and it comes with me.
I'm gonna sit out in the rain, and I'm gonna feel my heart again.
Emotion is my life's work, the thing that I'm interested in the most. Different types of emotion, different shades of emotion. My relationship with emotion. I have these feelings that when I begin writing a song, I don't have them by the end. So the process of writing the song helps me to purge them a little bit. You know, In Seasons was very much about the girl who was in her 20s, who'd lost her mum and her grandmother, and was out there on her own, trying to make sense of everything and trying to survive and make music and find herself. And this is more I'm a woman in my 30s now, and it's more about relationships and overcoming fears.
Everyone knows all that is glittering is not gold.
I'm looking forward to seeing Into Colour from the rearview mirror, just to sort of see the landscape of it, really, because conceptually it was just a lot of work. And so I can't really see the wood for the trees right now. It's not, and I just need it so badly to be able to hold that thing and play it over and over and over again. And I think it's going to really help me, because I know the vibrations on it are really positive and uplifting, and I think it's already helped me and healed me a lot in my own self. So I hope that helps other people.
I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed. You don't need to tell me I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed. You don't need to tell me. I know that hope and love can be found in this world, can be found. Love can be found in this world, can be found. Love can